I want to know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a sunny day? Doo doo doo. Don't leave. Don't leave. You better share the videos. This is important, by the way. If you haven't shared, you better start. This is important information. Stuff is happening. There's a lot of moving parts, and I need to talk about them. And I need to talk about what you probably shouldn't do during SHTF. I want to talk about that too, and give you guys some highlighted options for things that you could collect along the way. And it's just one of those videos that's going to have a lot of stuff in it. Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of Defense, he's called up his generals and, well, generals and admirals. But what does that mean? It's like, yeah, it's got to be like the Be My Little General motion here, where it's like starts off at the first star all the way up. That's where this is going to be, but they are bringing their senior enlisted with them. So this is not one of those events. Yes, you hear me better because my mic works. My other mic was broken. They're bringing their military leaders together for a major reason. And this is not like the goat rodeo we had back in the day with the Obama administration. This is not one of those events where they're trying to get rid of generals. They were looking for any reason back then. If you guys remember what that whole moment was, I was in during that time, so we saw a lot of weird stuff happening. Now, this is important. Stuff has happened that has never happened before, and things had started happening like had happened during the Cold War. During the Cold War, we had kind of lent out weapons to other folks, like nuclear weapons. So in the event that something went down, hey, you've got my back, you're my ally, we want you to have. Because if you remember back to the goat rodeo, the Obama administration had went around, like Obama had done the whole like, hey, give up your nuclear weapons. Remember that ordeal? I don't know if you guys remember it or not, but I was keeping up. Give up your nuclear weapons kind of thing. And a lot of suckers fell for it and said, hey, I should probably get rid of these. And they did. They did. A lot of countries did that. They jumped on board with that and let's reduce our stuff. And now here we are. Here we are. This is war. War is happening right now, and you might not even see it, but it's happening. It's happening very severely. We're moving ships, we're moving stations, we're combining locations and bringing them together, make like South Strategic whatever command and whatever. We're bringing a lot of units together. There's a lot of troop movement like that, and that happened during the Cold War. Anytime there's a major war about to kick off, like if it's really starting to get wild and there's really going to start, things are going to start flying, that's when we start moving things around. It's when we have to start bringing everybody together and getting it all situated, getting things moved where it needs to go. But this is the first time that the situation has escalated with nuclear weapons to the point that we've actually staged our nuclear weapons in more than one country. Like before, during the Cold War, we had stored like one. Now we're even dropping them off in Germany now. So if that should definitely be an eye opener for you as to where the situation is. We were like here, now the whole world's on fire. It's one of those types of things, but you still have time. You still have time. So don't panic. For those of you that's like, and don't, things are getting weird and people are weird. It's one of those things, but let's just focus and try to stay focused here. All right. So things you shouldn't do during SHTF in case things pop off. I just want you to know in advance before, in case I never see you again. And, hey, you're like, you're sitting by your little daylight campfire because you can't have a fire at night because the marauders are going to come freaking slit your throat. If you're one of those guys that, you're sitting there, it's like, I remember this guy, BA, he told me that not to do these things. Now, a lot of folks will say, look, when the balloon goes up, when everything pops off, and it's everything is a big cloud of smoke, that I'm just gonna go to the Dollar General down the road and we're just gonna pillage that place, take everything they've got, and you don't realize, folks, when you say stuff like that, think about time and using stuff up. And one of the things that my kids do, my kids have been around me long enough and they've heard me talk about this stuff so much that they just know. And we were watching what, Jurassic World Rebirth. It was like the new one. It just come out. It's on DVD or whatever. So we had that thing popped in and we were watching it. We're at the part where the music kicks on, the lights come on in the store, and it starts playing the "When the Night Has Come." Anyways, and these weird mutated freaking raptor flying things come, right? Okay. So they go into the store. And the kids have like all their strategies and stuff because they're like seeing these creepy monster things coming at these guys. And they're coming up their own strategy. Like, don't get out of the cooler, stay in there. It's just funny to hear my kids play this out. But the one thing that they mentioned in a survival scenario was like, well, they look back at the mom and dad and they say, how old is that food? And I was like, I think that's 17 years. So the building's been there for like 17 years. And my son's like, okay, you could probably still eat the chips. Yeah, you could probably do still eat the chips. Age. Okay, this is things that can get you killed. Okay, I told you that to tell you this. Sorry. But age, okay? Like vegetables, beans, all that stuff, the things you see in cans that are on the shelves and things like that. That stuff's just on the shelves, right? And then it's like things that, there's no more air conditioning, okay? There's no more air conditioning. Keep that in consideration because that also builds up the botulism, bacteria. You can't smell it. You can't smell, when you open that can of beans or whatever, you can't smell it. Kidney beans will get you killed after a year. They have like a year shelf life and you throw them suckers away. That is like the number one no-no. I tell everybody that's a prepper that wants to prepare, kidney beans, I'm sorry guys, I know you love them. I like them too, but I can only use them like for that first year and then I have to throw them out. They're too dangerous to mess with. You can look up the reasons why yourself. That goes into medicine, and I've told people before, like it's aspirin, it's not Tylenol. Aspirin will, and the wife will tell you too, because she's an ER trauma nurse, she'll tell you straight up like what will kill you and what won't kill you. But like aspirin, if you let it go bad, once it's past like a year old, I don't play around with that stuff. I throw it away because that stuff can kill you, and you're going to look on the internet. I know you are. You're going to search high and low, and you're going to be looking for the exact reason. And the AI, don't trust the AI because it's actually in the books. It's not even actually on the internet, but I think it is. I think we found it once and a few times maybe, but anyways. But food, 7 years. Like the average canned food, those are just the two that I'd have to bring up every time. But like the food-wise, good, okay? You know, like 7 years, it'll start losing its nutritional value. So you're there. So after like 7 years or so. So you got about 7 years of your canned food still being decent. But food, most food typically does not reach like the bad status. Like, you know what I mean? Like bad. You know, as long as it's in a climate controlled environment and there's not like sun beaming down. It's like you go back to like The Walking Dead where they're like walking down the road and there's like a pickup truck full of freaking, you know what I mean, canned foods, or one of those moving trucks, like a grocery store truck. And then they open it up, yay, celebration. And, you know, they've got all these cases of food. Well, technically that food's been sitting in that truck for how many days? Like 8 months, 2 years, whatever. That food has just been sitting there in the heat, in the sun, cooking. And then wintertime rolls along, it freezes. Then it cooks some more and then freezes again. It's probably not going to be very good. But keep that in mind. That stuff will get you killed. it just creates botulism. It creates bacteria. Things just set up like that. That's just food wise. Now, for the folks who think they can just go to Dollar General and survive off that place, it's going to be picked clean. It's going to be picked clean. There's only going to be like a few things left. It's isn't like, you know, Maggie and Glenn go into the freaking pharmacy down the road to go get junk. That place is going to be picked clean, and most people are going to, it's all going to be gone. It's something you need to think about, because everyone's going to have the same mentality. Like, oh, I'm just going to go down there and get everything while I can before, you know, there's nothing left. So it's all going to be gone. So you won't be living out of it. And well, most Dollar Generals, like people will say, like, hey, I'm going to go down there and get all their beer. It's like, well, you know, most of their beer, if it is one of those Dollar Generals that actually has beer, then it's going to be picked clean as well, as along with the cigarettes. Everything else in that. Those are like your two bartering items right there that you need to collect to barter and trade with, would definitely be alcohol and cigarettes. Those are going to be the two. And coffee, caffeine, that stuff people want to get their fix, like their coffee, their nicotine, and then their alcohol. I'm telling you, those three will definitely be barter trade items. And you can barter and trade ammunition as well. That kind of goes into another suit. Look, I got bullets. You need bullets. We'll trade. Don't worry. I'm not worried about anyone shooting me to get my bullets, because I've got more bullets, but I've got more people. You know, it kind of works like that when you got more people, and it's just good business. You got to keep the business going, because people are going to want to get back to that normal society where things are kind of still normal, but, you know, not. So just got to keep that stuff in mind, that things can be traded around. You just need to do it tactfully, the right way, and with precaution, right? Keep that in mind. Like, if I know Bob down the road, and Bob grows tobacco, and which a lot of people around here grow tobacco, that's another thing you should have in your seed bank, is tobacco seeds. You can get those from Hoss, if you didn't know. Yes, they're legal. You can grow them. They make like three different variety packs, like the Virginia Gold and stuff like that. I know all that stuff. But say you've got Bob down the road, he grows tobacco, and you've got bullets, and he needs bullets to protect his crops. And you give him bullets, and he gives you part of the crop. That's how you do it. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, just keep those two together. Anyways, there's so much, but things you should definitely pick up. Those are just some things that can get you killed. And then the things that you should definitely focus to pick up, just in case you run out. I try to keep this on a timed basis when I make these videos, is your tapes, your electrical tape, your duct tape, your super glue, your Goo Be Gone, your Flex Seal, your JB Weld, right? Like I just picked up a new thing of JB Weld, like my animal trough, a huge steel animal trough. I didn't want to bust out the welder, and you know, because I'm always welding things and making huge animal troughs and stuff and contraptions for the animals. A lot of you have animals just like I do, but I didn't want to go out there and tactically freaking weld up a bunch of holes. Sun causes things to age, and then in that age process, you'll get a hole here and there. And I noticed that the trough had been leaking. Well, my son came back and told me, it says, you know, hey, I keep filling the thing up, and it's, you know, I noticed the pinhole at the bottom there, it's leaking. So instead of doing that, I take JB Weld, mix it up, slap it on, let it dry, and then fill it back up with water. Done. But you'd be surprised at how often you use these tiny little staples. And these tiny little staples could be used throughout, you know, a freaking 5-year span. I mean, what if you're in these situations where things do last those 5-year stretches? But there is a lot going on. I pray for all of you, and I hope that you return the favor, and just think about that stuff before you jump out and say things. You really just stop for a minute and say, hey, wonder how long that stuff would last. You know, if I put it on the shelf, would that be good in like 5 years? And expiration on water's baloney. That's complete baloney. They do that. They have to do it as part of the rules. You got to follow the rules. Separates us from the animals. but that's just the way it is. It's like MREs. MREs, it says 5 years. Anything that says 5 years is definitely going to last forever, but not generally, because like I said, if you leave MREs in a hot car, they're not good anymore. Don't do it. Just throwing it out there. Hot and cold doesn't do very good with MREs as well. That's about it. I wanted to point out a few things because, you know, you guys are about to kick off your weekend. I don't know where you're heading, and that's it. And please share and subscribe. God bless. Take care.